Aqui quem está falando é o Marco Silva. Provavelmente vocês já devem ter me visto aí nos vídeos lá no canal do Hackathon, ok? Bom, a gente está usando o GoToWebinar para fazer esse webinar. Se você tiver alguma dúvida, tem um campo aí de questions, tá? De perguntas. Você pode fazer a pergunta. Se você quiser fazer em inglês, o speaker, o apresentador aqui é o Olivier Anguenot. Se você quiser fazer a pergunta em inglês, pode escrever no chat em inglês, ou se você não se sentir confortável, pode fazer em português e a gente faz a tradução, ok? Bom, vamos ver aqui, só um minutinho. A gente vai começar aqui, dar mais um tempinho para o pessoal se conectar no novo link. Essa sessão vai ser gravada, tá? Então, depois que a gente terminar a sessão, a gente vai postar o vídeo no canal do YouTube. Então, se você tiver algum componente da sua equipe que não teve como entrar na sessão, vocês podem pedir para que eles acessem o canal do YouTube, ok? Que vai estar gravado lá, ok? So let's switch to English. So guys, we're gonna record this session. Just after we finalize the session, the video will be posted on YouTube channel. So if you have any doubt, you can chat. You can ask your doubt on the webinar platform in English or in Portuguese. Okay. So Olivier, we can start now. Huh?
Okay, I can start?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so welcome everybody, and thank you for attending this webinar about building application with Rainbow. So this webinar is dedicated to developers who will participate to the Rainbow Hackathon in Brazil, but not only. This webinar could be interesting to any developers, integrators, and key managers who want to discover the Rainbow API Hub. They will see the materials we offer for developing applications with our SDK and APIs. So this webinar doesn't require any developer skills, but focus on some technical aspects to help you understanding how Rainbow works and how it can be used to solve your technical problems. So my name is Olivier Anguenot. I'm working at Alcatel-Lucent Enterprise, and I'm leading the development of the Rainbow API Hub, our Rainbow CPaaS platform for devs. So today, in that webinar, I would like to talk about our SDK and APIs, where we stand today, and what is the we have on that. I would like to introduce the Rainbow API Hub. What is it? And so what you have to do for starting with that platform. And finally, I would like to show you some interesting concepts in Rainbow that you could use for developing your proof of concept or minimal viable product during the next hackathon. And for those who are in a hurry and want to start directly, here is the main thing to remember from that webinar. Open your browser, go to hub.openrainbow.com, and from that, you will be able to start your Rainbow API Hub journey. Because all information you need, all documentation you are searching for are here. So just download an SDK and begin with the associated Getting Started guide. And for others who want to follow this webinar, I propose the following agenda. This webinar will cover mainly three parts. In the first part, I will give you some numbers regarding our Rainbow CPaaS platform. Then I will introduce the Rainbow API Hub and our SDK and APIs. And finally, I will give you an update on the latest API and feature introduced recently to focus on some concrete concepts and examples that you could need. So let's start with some number to show you that our Rainbow platform exists today and are already used by hundreds of thousands of users around the world. But before that, for newcomers or for people who already use Rainbow, perhaps you know that Rainbow is available for 2 years and a half, approximately. External developers like you can connect and use Rainbow APIs for 2 years now. Because this story started in the middle of year 2016 by developing our first SDK, a SDK for building web applications. And in that first release, we were able to send and receive instant messages and to make audio and video calls. Then, in early 2017, we released our fourth version of the SDK for Node.js to help developers building their first bots. In the same time, we developed our Rainbow CLI tool for internal use first, and then to let developers connect to Rainbow from a command line to execute administrative tasks and scripting. In the middle of year 2017, we realized our first REST API with documentation based on OpenAPI, so standard. Then the end of the year was used for releasing our Android and iOS SDK, two separate SDK, each adapted to its platform. And starting the beginning of this year, we are polishing the Rainbow API Hub, our website for developers, and continuing adding new features to our SDK and API. And here we are now. So starting this summer, in July exactly, we opened the Rainbow API Hub platform, and so developers started to register to the hub. And for these 5 months, now more than 600 developers that have registered an account for more than 100 companies. 15% of these developers pay by using a credit card, and the rest of developers have either signed an agreement with us to pay differently or are not yet ready to deploy their application. They are in the step of prospecting Rainbow, if I could say that. And about 50% of the developers have registered an account on our Sandbox platform. I will explain more in detail later on this webinar what is this platform dedicated to developers. Now, if we have a look at the application, about 350 applications have been created since the beginning of July, and more than 30% have been deployed into production, which means that these applications are in use by people today. There are web applications, mobile applications, and server-side on both applications. You can notice that before July, only the Alcatel-Lucent application were allowed to connect to Rainbow. Now we have more than 150. Another point is that looking at the Rainbow platform, all deployed applications consume more than 110 million of API per month. This is amazing. More than 40 requests per second. At last, we're starting having some success stories that are still in progress. Just an example, Petran Veritra is an Indonesian company who chose 1 year ago to integrate our Rainbow mobile SDK to build their new application on Android and iOS. Today, more than 300,000 users use the Rainbow services through the pay-to-earn application. It's mainly to exchange instant messages, audio recorded file, and to make audio and video calls. But as seen previously, each day, new Rainbow applications are registered and deployed on production that allow new users to collaborate better. So if you want to be part of that story, you need to understand how pay-to-earn developers did, and for that, understand the Rainbow API Hub, and so the way to build application with Rainbow. So let me continue this webinar by a closer look to the Rainbow API Hub. What is it? What can you find on that website? How it works? And to start, I will just tell you some words on Rainbow to understand better the global picture. At Alcatel-Lucent, we developed Rainbow firstly for us, because we're a company dispatched all around the world, and we need tools to better collaborate together and to easily exchange information like files between us. Moreover, as we have a lot of colleagues in different countries, with Rainbow, we can have audio, video calls, and conferences just with a browser instantaneously. So today, Rainbow is becoming the heart of our processes. As an example, we have more and more bots that we can use in your daily work to speed up some action, such as for changing a password, booking a room, etc. This is the reason why Rainbow is called the relationship machine. Colleagues, bots, processes are like human organs or muscles, and Rainbow acts as a vein that transports these blood vessels. So by connecting people and things together, Rainbow allowed us to transform the way we work. And Rainbow has transformed the way we work because Rainbow is not just a transport layer or a data broadcaster. For sure, Rainbow can deliver real-time secure content from client to client, client to server, or server to server. More than that, you can use it to establish call and to relay the media between users that are not in the same place, and so separated by network equipment like firewall, for example. But Rainbow acts as a data provider too. With Rainbow, you as a user generate lots of data that can serve your business. Messages, notifications, records, presence, or your location. All these data are generated and used by your application and are stored in a secure place. So with Rainbow, you can connect things and people, and that establish a secure link, you can exchange data generated. So this digital transformation of our company became real because Rainbow is not just an application as it's plain. It is a platform first, and more than that, a communication platform as a service, CPaaS. It means that Rainbow offers API and SDK that you, developer, can use in many ways to integrate collaboration features like instant messages, video call, notification, and many other in your application and your processes. And as for us, by integrating Rainbow, you will be able to change the way people work. No matter of your activity or domain, this can work in transportation, education, healthcare, hospitality, government, etc. And for helping developers understanding the capabilities of Rainbow, we create the Rainbow API Hub, which is basically a website or portal dedicated to developers. And to understand the Rainbow API Hub, you need to see it as the central point of our CPaaS offer. It is more than a website. It is a place where you will find all information you need to succeed with Rainbow. It is a visible part of the Rainbow platform. Most of the time, when we add new feature to Rainbow, we offer the associated APIs, documentation, and sample on the Rainbow API Hub. So, concretely, you will find on that portal our SDKs, our REST API, and all the materials you need to start, including a lot of sample, starter kits that you can download from GitHub. And for helping you starting with the Rainbow API Hub, we identify 5 steps to do. So in some words, you need to first signing a Rainbow account. This step is mandatory to connect to the Rainbow API Hub. Without a Rainbow account, you can't do nothing. Then you can connect to Rainbow, use it, and discover what you can do with our platform. And once you are comfortable in step 3, you can register your first Rainbow application and start developing it using our Rainbow API and SDKs. Once your application has been developed in step 4, you have to choose a payment model. By default, you will have fees when your application consumes API and resources, like for example, when using a media, one of our media relay server. And if your application grows successfully, you can go to Alcatel and sign another deal with us to pay differently. Fees will be no more computed on your application usage, but on other indicators based on your business. And finally, in step 5, you have access to your application metrics that show you the API usage of your application and help you understanding potential misuse or issue in your application. So if we continue to look deeper on what we offer, you will discover that you can use 4 SDK today. SDK are mandatory for accessing real-time services, such as sending and receiving messages or notifications, for making audio and video calls, sending files, for example. For that, you need an SDK. We have 2 for building mobile application, one for iOS and one for Android. They have approximately the same level of features. And we have one for building web front-end application, and the last for the back-end application based on Node.js. And additionally to that, you can access to REST APIs mainly for doing provisioning and administrative tasks, such as creating and managing Rainbow accounts and subscription for accessing, for example, metrics. And if you want to script or use the command line tools, we have the Rainbow CLI application. All this provisioning and managing APIs can be used just by launching commands. Now, if we look inside our SDK in terms of feature, we offer the following approximately the same API on web, Android, and iOS. So the 3 SDK for front-end application offers the possibility to manage the user presence, for example, the contacts. They have a contact sales engine. You can have conversation with a single person and with several persons in a bubble. You can make audio and video calls, and send notification to a large number of persons, and then, for example, exchange files. Our specific SDK for backend application allow to have approximately the same level of feature too, except the WebRTC part. But instead, you can do some administrative tasks such as creating accounts or doing provisioning tasks. And as seen previously, on the other side, you can use our REST API to authenticate, create accounts, manage the user subscription. So basically, with this API, you can connect your backend to Rainbow and automate user management. And as mentioned earlier, for discovering our SDK and for developing your application, you can use our Sandbox platform. This platform is dedicated to developers and so to you. This is a separate platform that is not connected to the Rainbow production platform. And so this platform uses different accounts, and so you can develop and test your application without disturbing Rainbow users. This platform is free. You have no fees when testing on this application. And in terms of features, this platform offers approximately the same level than the Rainbow production platform. So basically, testing on that platform, so on the Sandbox platform, is the same as testing on production platform. So feel free to create your Sandbox account from the Rainbow API Hub. You will receive an email with your Sandbox credential, and then you can connect on and start developing your application. So that's all for the explanation of Rainbow on the Rainbow API Hub. Now, this part of the webinar will focus on some main concepts you need to know to succeed your Rainbow integration. The first one is Bubble. In Rainbow, Bubble is a workspace designed for real-time collaboration between Rainbow users. In a Bubble, you can send messages and files to other members at once and have audio and video conference up to 10 participants. So at the question when you can use it, you can use Bubble when you need to put some user in directly a Bubble. So in this scenario, this is always someone or both who is the owner of the Bubble who can add you or invite you. What is interesting is that once all members will receive the event generated by the Bubble. And so you know when there is new messages, you know when there is new member, etc. And recently, we have added method in SDK to be able to change the avatar of the Bubble. This will allow you to customize the Bubble to your need. And we have added the possibility to add custom data stored in that Bubble. So Bubble can be seen as a little database that can store its business information, such as, for example, a case number, a localization. Any JSON format can be stored in a Bubble. And finally, to start audio conferences, we are working on that. And in some weeks, you will be able to do audio and video conferencing within a Bubble. One other concept that is interesting to know is the channels. Channels are mass notification medium for sending information to a large number of users, several thousand at once. So in Rainbow, channel can be used in two different ways. You can create controlled channels that allow an owner to build its own distribution list of users who will receive notification. You can use this kind of channel when you want to control the participant or the recipient of the channel. In the opposite, you can create open channels that are more like a social network. Each user of your application can subscribe on his own to channel he discovers and wants. So you can build basically something like Twitter with open channels. And recently we added the possibility to customize the avatar of a channel. Another great concept is group. Groups allow to gather contacts. With groups, you can categorize and organize your list of contacts. It could be seen as a little contacts-oriented database. So each time you need to group contacts for doing specific action, you can do this concept. For example, if your application manages a contact center, each time, for example, an agent is available, you can move it to the group available agent. When he's speaking with the customer, you can move it to the group busy. And so you can know the state of each agent. Another example, you can have a group that represents the people who answered correctly to a poll versus the people who answered wrong in order to identify and to better identify the people you need to contact to see what's wrong. And to be able to manage contacts queuing, we added the date of entry in order to be able to order this list by the duration since the contact has been added. On the media part, you have now 3 ways to call a user in real time. The first possibility is by monitoring and controlling a real phone device connected to a PBX. With the SDK web on nodes, you can call someone and so answer or decline an incoming call as you do by clicking on the phone buttons. More than that, now you have the possibilities to forward the call to someone. And when calling someone, you can now add a little text messages to inform your recipient of the reason of the call. It can be used as many ways to store a user ID, a product ID, what you want. The second possibility is by using WebRTC to make audio, video calls directly from mobile or web application. The reason of call can now be added as well as the possibility to record the call locally. And finally, you have the possibility by using our WebRTC gateway to be able to make a WebRTC call throughout a mobile GSM, for example, a DECT or desk phone. PBX is needed at this time, and this feature is still in beta when using an SDK today. Regarding the admin part, we are publishing more and more APIs. Recently, we added the Matrix API to be able to have access to your company metrics, like the number of users, the number of instant messaging sent, the number of calls done per day, etc. We added the mass provisioning API to let you onboard a Rainbow user directly from a CVS file. And concerning our SDK web node on our REST API, as a Rainbow user with admin rights, you have now the possibility to add a user to the network of another user. This is interesting because you can create, for example, a help desk application, and when user logs for the first time, he will see some contacts or bots that he can engage if needed. So without having to search for them, on you to hardcode this conversation with this contact. So this can be seen as a provisioning of contacts. And finally, regarding the Rainbow Hub, we are finalizing a refresh of the user configuration of the application will be more detailed and more explicit for you, and will allow us to add new feature very easily. And in the coming months, you will be able to define a threshold to be informed by email when your application will consume more API than the value you define. It will help you to control your API consumption and so your fees. In the same time, you will be able to deploy your application to production in seconds if you have chosen the pay-as-you-go model and registered a valid credit card. Because on requested to deploy, your application will be approved automatically and authorized to access to the Rainbow production platform. And finally, you will be able to register a SEPA mandate and pay your Rainbow fees with that payment method instead of by using a credit card. So I think you have now some information to start and to know how Rainbow will tackle your application technical problem. I will close this webinar by giving you some direction that we are investigating for the next years. Regarding our Rainbow Hub platform, we will add a blog to exchange on technical realization as well as on ideas, challenges, etc. We are progressing on delivering a boat SDK and API, which will allow you to build scalable boats and the possibilities to sell or buy them for your own purpose. On the other side, regarding our API and SDK, our goal is to have more and more REST API, and not only for the admin part, but for the end user to allow you to build application in your specific languages. And parallel to that, we will introduce more robust authentication methods like OAuth on server-to-server capabilities based on Webhook. So the next year will be very exciting for us and for you, as more and more things will be possible with Rainbow. So to conclude this webinar, I post this slide again, which can be used as a quick recap. So one URL to remember, up.openrainbow.com, signing for a free account, then start integrating Rainbow. That's all. I hope you enjoyed this webinar. Thank you for attending this session about Rainbow SDKs and API, and I wish you an happy development and a great success with Rainbow. Bye.
Ok, thank you, Olivier. Bom, pessoal, o Rainbow Hub ele já está aberto para vocês. As equipes aí que vão participar do Hackathon já podem criar uma conta no Rainbow Hub. Existe um vídeo que também está no YouTube Channel, que foi gravado pelo Ruben da Intuitiva, que mostra um pouco como acessar o Rainbow Hub. O Olivier vai estar junto com a gente no Hackathon, tá? Ele é o head responsável por essa parte do Rainbow, como CPaaS, APIs e SDKs. Eu não vi nenhuma pergunta aqui, não sei se vocês têm alguma pergunta. Se não tiver, esse vídeo vai ser gravado, tá? Foi gravado, vai ser postado lá no canal do YouTube. A gente vai jogar o link no website. E amanhã, nesse mesmo horário, espero que a gente não tenha o mesmo problema que a gente teve para começar, a gente vai falar um pouco do Stellar. Stellar é uma plataforma de... Ele nasceu como uma plataforma de conectividade Wi-Fi da Alcatel-Lucent Enterprise. Entretanto, ele também tem serviços de geolocalização em beacons. Então, se você quiser projetar dentro da sua ideia de projeto ou produto, quiser agregar serviços de localização indoor baseado em beacon, vale a pena vocês assistirem o webinar de amanhã, tá bom? Acho que ninguém tem pergunta, não estou vendo nenhuma pergunta aqui na plataforma. Depois a gente também disponibiliza essa apresentação para os grupos que vão participar do webinar. Obrigado pela participação de todos. Thank you, Olivier, for your explanation
Yeah.
on Rainbow Hub.
Thank you,
E,
Mark.
bom, ok. Tchau, tchau. Thank you very much. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you.